Welcome to From the Pages of The Ring Wrestling, July 1978, the magazine that opens its locker room doors and lets you step straight into the sweaty, chaotic, magnificent world of turnbuckles, territories, tight-lipped veterans, sweethearts of the mat, dangerous heels, misunderstood maniacs, rising stars, overseas hotbeds, and the wild, unfiltered pulse of wrestling from an era where the ropes were stiff, the punches looked real. And kayfabe was guarded like a national secret. So smash that like button. Subscribe for more retro deep dive madness. Ring the bell to stay locked in. And before we dive into this avalanche of history, in the next 60 seconds, here's your high-speed rundown. Bob Backlund pins the superstar to keep the WWF World title. Tom Burke explores the entire lineage and evolution of tag team wrestling. Tatsumi Fujinami captures the junior heavyweight belt from Jose Estrada. Alan Bolte asks Kevin Sullivan, what turns a good guy mean? John Arezzi profiles the unpredictable Johnny Rodz. Gene Gordon spotlights Tammy Love, the sweetheart of the mat. John Arezzi returns to dissect the menace of Ox Baker. Tom Burke covers Nigeria as one of Africa's unexpected wrestling hotbeds. George Napolitano predicts that underrated Al Madril may soon be number one. Kevin Cron wonders if Gino Hernandez is wrestling's next megastar. Robert Ruiz digs for the truth behind Lord Alfred Hayes and the Super Destroyer. Jennifer Stout profiles Bob Fury, the Fighting Irishman. Jim Dalton and Butch Malone throw down their We Challenge gauntlet. George Napolitano's camera captures wrestling stars off guard and at ease. John Arezzi sits with Sandy Parker as she vows to take on anyone. Jay Pupo breaks down Scott Casey's steady climb. Vicky Lynn Goddard watches Leaping Lanny vault higher than ever. The George Gules-Tojo Yamamoto team-up gets highlighted. Mitsu Uehira reports on girl tag team warfare in Japan. Pinups of Pepper LaBianco and Nelson Royal fill the centerfold. The Mat Male section lets fans sound off. Just Ask Ring Wrestling answers burning questions. The official world ratings lay out the global hierarchy. And news from Philadelphia, West Africa, Washington, California, Pennsylvania, Ohio, the Mountain States. And the British Isles close out a magazine packed thicker than a Madison Square Garden card. And now we dive in, as editorial director Nat Lube opens with As I See It, a direct, confident message praising wrestling's ability to remain clean, honorable, and family-friendly, even as the sport grows more violent, more competitive, and more compelling. Emphasizing that The Ring Wrestling is a publication a fan can proudly leave on their living room table without embarrassment. And then George Napolitano ticks the issue into overdrive with his exclusive. Bob Backlund pinning the superstar to retain the WWF World Heavyweight Championship, describing the clash as a fiery battle between Backlund's technical precision and the superstar's veteran craftiness, capturing the electricity of the crowd as Backlund's clean-cut athletic style triumphed over villainous swagger, proving again why he was the living embodiment of the WWF ethos. From there, Tom Burke lays out the entire history of tag team wrestling in an encyclopedic feature that traces its roots from traveling carnival acts to regional sensations to mainstream attractions, examining how different territories perfected their tag team psychology, how champions became legends by mastering double-team finesse, and how the art evolved into one of wrestling's most vital storytelling tools. Before Jacqueline Napolitano delivers the international shockwaves of Fujinami taking the junior heavyweight title from Estrada, praising Fujinami's crisp technique, dazzling execution, and surging popularity, marking him as one of Japan's brightest rising icons. Next, Alan Bolte dives into the psychology of what makes a good guy turn mean, interviewing a young, fiery Kevin Sullivan, who breaks down how frustration, betrayal, disrespect, or ambition can twist a once noble soul into a hard-edged villain, offering rare insight into moral decay within kayfabe. Then John Arezzi profiles Johnny Rodz, the unpredictable, unorthodox New York standout known for his wild style, surprising arsenal, an ability to push any opponent to the limit. A wrestler the locker room respected because he was impossible to read and impossible to overlook. Gene Gordon turns the spotlight toward Tammy Love, the sweetheart of the mat, painting her as a charismatic and determined talent whose popularity with fans stems from her combination of athletic fire, genuine humility, and picture-perfect poise. Then John Arezzi returns with an explosive deep look at Ox Baker, asking if there is truly anyone meaner, recounting Baker's monstrous presence, his feared heart punch, and the intimidating aura that made crowds tremble. Tom Burke crosses the globe to Nigeria, revealing it as an African wrestling hotspot, describing local heroes, indigenous styles, emerging promotions, and international exchanges that made the Nigerian scene unexpectedly vibrant. George Napolitano moves on to underrated Al Madril, arguing that his skill, timing, and consistency make him one breakout moment away from becoming the #1 standout in his territory. Kevin Cron asks if Gino Hernandez is wrestling's next superstar, analyzing the charisma, charm, villainous flair, and magnetic on-screen presence that made him a natural to dominate the future. Robert J. Ruiz uncovers the truth about Lord Hayes and Super Destroyer, digging into rumors, history, and behind-the-scenes disentanglements that reveal more about their true roles than fans ever realized. Jennifer Stout profiles Bob Fury, the Fighting Irishman, detailing his toughness, resilience, fire in his belly, and old-school grit that kept him beloved by fans. Jim Dalton and Butch Malone step forward with "We Challenge," throwing down bold calls to action in open-ended wrestling declarations, aimed at proving their toughness and daring any takers. Then George Napolitano's camera catches wrestling stars at ease, brings fans candid, off-guard looks at wrestlers relaxing, laughing, traveling, and being human for a moment between wars. John Arezzi's interview with Sandy Parker reveals her bold confidence, her refusal to back down from anyone, and her vow to take on all comers in the women's division. Jay Pupo covers Scott Casey, highlighting his steady upward climb, rugged skills, and no-nonsense determination to succeed. Vicky Lynn Goddard spotlights Leaping Lanny Poffo, charting his acrobatic style, his poetic flair, and his ability to leap higher and shine brighter than nearly anyone of his generation. Then she returns with coverage of George Goulas teaming with his idol Tojo Yamamoto, chronicling the powerful mentor-student bond and their evolving chemistry as a tandem. Mitsu Uehira details the girl tag team war in Japan, emphasizing intensity, training, and the fierce pride of female competitors in a country where wrestling carried deep tradition. Pin-ups of Pepper LaBianco and Nelson Royal grace the centerfold with classic studio poses. R.W. Matt Mail prints letters from passionate fans across the globe. Just Ask Ring Wrestling answers burning questions about rules, feuds, rankings, and personality profiles. Nat Lube returns to present the official world ratings, laying out the hierarchical order of champions and contenders with confident editorial authority. Tom Burke follows with On and Around the Mat World, covering Philadelphia, British and Irish stars, Mountain State brawls, West Coast developments, and African rising scenes. Closing the magazine with the expansive feeling that wrestling truly spans every corner of the planet.